Good afternoon, leaders. My name is Sergeant First Class Fennell. I am with the U.S. Army Physical Fitness School, and like many of you, I am at home right now, and I'm trying to make the best use of my time by providing some techniques that you can do at home to work on your deadlift. That's what we're going to do today. So if you're at home, you don't need a lot of equipment to do this technique work. And again, if you don't have a lot to do, you can make the best use of your time by going over drills like this. Before you build strength, you first want to make sure that you have good posture and that your movement patterns are correct. If you're building strength on top of a poor posture or poor structure, then you're really just making it more difficult to fix those movement patterns down the road. So this is a very simple drill that all you need is a PVC pipe or in this case a broomstick. I brought a broomstick with me as well, and a doorway. If you have a doorway, this is going to help you work on bar path. Bar path is more important than hip height. Now we've seen traveling around with ACFT and MFT teams, we've seen people make a lot of mistakes when it comes to squatting their deadlifts and then the rounding of the back. So this one drill is going to help with vertical bar path. So what you're going to do is you're going to find a doorway, and again a rod of some type. So broomstick works well. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep your feet just underneath of your hips, so not more in a squatting position, but underneath of your hips. And then from there, you're going to use the bar thumbs distance away from your side, grasping the bar with the overhand grip closed. You're going to make sure that as you step forward that the bar is touching the wall on both sides, right? And this is to make sure that the bar is directly over your feet, just about right over your shoelaces, right? And then from here, without moving my feet, the goal is to no longer touch the bar against the wall. That means I'm going to have to lean forward and push the bar back against myself. This will put my shoulders on the other side of the bar and keep the weight directly over my feet. As I slide down my thigh, I'm going to again make sure the bar is directly over my laces. Once I pass my knees, I can then bend my knees. This means that when I get to that mid-shin height, which is where we need you to do for things like the ACFT and then when training using a barbell, when I get there, my hips are going to be above my knees, which is where we need them to be, and my shoulders are going to be above my hips. To come back up from this position, I'm going to raise my hips and shoulders at the exact same rate. This brings the knees out of the way. And then once I'm above the knees, I can bring my hips back forward. And again, the only place I'm going to make contact with the PVC or your broomstick against the wall is at the very top. It's the only place we're going to touch the wall. So going through this movement multiple times is going to teach you how to keep the bar really close to your body. And that's what you want to do right now is reps. You want good reps. You can do these with your eyes open, eyes closed. And this method will not allow you to squat your deadlift. If I squat or bend at my knees first, I will not be able to get the PVC or the broomstick by. All right. So this teaches us to keep our hips up, to tip over, and then move into that deadlift position. And this is where I want to be. Right. First part, we went over bar path, which we used a PVC pipe and a doorway. And that drill, the purpose of that was to teach you how to maintain bar path, keeping the bar as close to you as possible, and to prevent going around the knees on the way up or down, and keeping the weight as close to your body as possible. So today what we're going to do is we're going to use a PVC pipe or a broomstick if you're at home, and we're going to do a drill that will teach you to maintain proper spine alignment. And that's very important when deadlifting. First off, let me tell you that deadlifting is a very healthy movement or exercise to work on. Individuals who deadlift on a regular basis are much more difficult to injure, so that really needs to be part of your training program at least once a week. So again, maintaining a straight spine when you're deadlifting is very important. So your back is basically made up of a stack of vertebrae and intervertebral discs, the discs in between each vertebrae. Those discs can take a lot of pressure as long as they're kept stacked in a straight line. So one way to think of this, if you think of this PVC pipe, it can hold a tremendous amount of weight as long as it's kept in a straight line. I can put a lot of pressure on it. But the moment I bend this PVC pipe, the integrity is just not there, and then I can snap the PVC pipe. So if you just take that same understanding and think of your spine in the exact same way. So when we talk about maintaining a neutral spine, neutral does have a range to it, but that is relative to how much weight you're lifting. So it's great to be flexible and be able to move, but if you're lifting heavy things, and the heavier they are, then the straighter your spine needs to be. So when looking at my back, if you have good posture and you're standing up, however your back appears to be while standing, it needs to look very similar when you go into that hinge position where you're going to be lifting something off of the ground. You have your lumbar spine and then your T-spine or your thoracic spine, and they need to be in a similar position when you're lifting something. So one thing you can really do to check is using a PVC pipe or a broomstick. You can take that object and just place it on your back. You're going to have 3 points of contact. You're going to have your tailbone or your sacrum. You're going to have your shoulder blades, and then you're going to have the back of your head. So these 3 things should maintain in contact as you go into that deadlift or hinged position without losing contact from any of those. And a good check would be, if I get into this position, I should be able to move the PVC pipe all the way to my deadlift position, the shoulders over the bar, without losing any contact there. And then I can go back and check again before I go into a good deadlift. So if you're unable to maintain that or actually reach that position, it's not the end of the world. You just have some mobility work to do. Typically, from what we see, the mobility relates to either the hip or the hamstring in specific. So we can do an entire video on how to mobilize the hips and the hamstrings, but one simple drill is just to do hamstring stretches with just one leg at a time. So when you see that, you can bring one toe up and then reach for that foot, and this is a hamstring stretch with one leg. It's easier to stretch one leg than it is for 2. Make sure when you're doing this, you maintain that flat back that we're looking for. This is not a hamstring stretch. I'm really just taking the problem that I already have, which is too much curvature of the spine, and then I'm practicing that without stretching my hamstring. So you want to go into this really flat spine position and stretch that way. Just make sure that you do both sides evenly. And then, again, we can talk about more mobility drills in future videos. If there's some content that you guys are wanting to see and you'd like the Physical Fitness School to produce, then comment below, and then we'll see if we can get those out to you. You guys stay safe. Have a great week.